Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Sharing your most precious asset with your life. 69K. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's go, baby. Bitcoin to the upside. All right. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Sorry. Okay. Shout out to all the beautiful people jumping on in. Thank you for being part of the Crypto Lifer live stream. A little late today was we had a bunch of stuff going on in the house. We had to push it live stream just 10 minutes. It is what it is, but we started when we started. It is what it is. This is the information that matters. And I can always go later, and I've gone later other times. So I got so much made up time. Like if this was like a time thing, you know what I mean? We're going back and forth with who was who and where was where. All right. So wait, I got us covered. I could be late a couple times a year. Shout out to everybody here, 66,800 for Bitcoin. Levels on Bookmap suggest we are going lower, right? If you just look at Bookmap, it's been pretty accurate throughout the time we've used it. It suggests we're going lower. There's a little bit of movement up here at 68,000, but not a lot. And then Bitcoin was kind of moving a little bit earlier today, and it's already kind of taken a move further to the downside. So I have a trade. Last night was a cool night. I ended up with this long on the 5-minute. I got to talk about it because it was interesting. Okay, so what I did is I saw this flag. I just want to go back in time for a second. A little storybook road with technical analysis. You know what I mean? And we tell a story with TA. So like I saw this, and you know me, I mean, it's above the 200. It's touching the 21. It's turned into a symmetrical triangle. It's too good to be true, right? So I take it, but I put my stop deep. I put myself up here, something like this. And I get myself nestled in, and I set up the trade. And I sit there, and time goes by, you know, and time goes by. But luckily, look at this. I never get stopped out. I guess more greedy people than me. So if there's more greedy people than you with a trade, they get stopped out and you don't. You see what I'm saying? Because so many of them are going after something that's just they're going too hard with too much leverage, too close to the bone. I'm trading light. I was going to make 500 something, you know, something like that, $580. And so that's what I was looking for. You see how it plays out? Boom, boom, boom. Still doesn't get me out, which is unbelievable here. I want to take this away. Yeah, see that? And then bang, it hits the exact target that I had set, which was actually insane that it would do that. I can't go over there. Thank you. Thank you so much, babe. Amazing. Okay, so Magic Mind, baby, which I'm actually going to discontinue its use. No offense. It's just certain things that I'm not. Some things I like, some things I don't. I would tweak it slightly. I learned from it, though. So, and look, it's kind of like a triple bottom. It's a shoulder, it's an inverted head and shoulder, if you can see it, right? If you have the mind to see, you can have the will to move. If you can have the will to move, look, there's a cup and handle there. Bang, it's probably a 786 Fibonacci retracement if you want to get real crazy with it. And I'll show you. Right here, let's take a look. It looks like it may be pretty close to it, almost at 886. Well, look, that's 786, pretty dang close to a 786 bounce, you see? Like, I mean, it's right there. Just kind of show you how all these, you know, cup and handle 786. This cup and handle is a 786 or trade, you know, technically 618, somewhere in that region. And again, you can also trade tweezer bottoms, right? The 5-minute gets a green next to a red. You open up a long with a stop below the red candle. That turns out to be a pretty big move to the upside. Anyway, I was just sitting here and didn't get stopped out. So it doesn't have to be pretty, as I was saying to my trading group yesterday. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. You see what I'm saying? So, and I told everyone, you know, it doesn't look amazing, but I'm going to remain long here. And luckily, I was able to hit that trade, which I found absolutely ridiculous. But if you trade every single day, like this was the trade crazy. It was 557, no crazy deal, but sold at 66,174. Right at the top of that range there, right? The high of it was what? Look, it was 66, like 290, right? And so I sold 174. I mean, that's pretty, I sold into the wicks, right? Into the mist, right? And then here we are with Bitcoin. So now kind of let's do our top-down analysis. Let's see what's cracking. Bitcoin went to 67,259. Now it seems to be kind of rocking and rolling here at 66,850. And it's been breaking out. Look, it did another, what I see here, I'm going to delete everything because it's insanity what I got going on. But, wrong button. I got a fan here that's getting in the way of what I'm looking at. Let's take a look. All right. So, what I see, look, you can see, and I know it's a playbook, but shoulder, head, right shoulder, look, there's the cup and the handle. Same idea we were just talking about. Breakout to the upside. Length of the pole and some. That's a nice move, right? Bang. And we still got the 4-hour long open that we talked about. Remember? The 4-hour long that I opened on the 4-hour time frame, if you remember. Do you remember the very first time? September, right? September, man. Love that track. Remind me of so many fun times as a kid. September. My generation was raised by the hippies, so we listened to a lot of the older music because our parents listened to older music. You know what I mean? So we were influenced in a way like the 1983 kids, man. The early 80s. Where my early 80s babies at? What we call the 80s babies. So yeah, remember we opened up a trade on the 4-hour time frame here on MEXC. I gave it to the trading group. You may not have seen it live, but the idea was to front run, or just to be, once we got a 4-hour candle to close, I bought this next green candle. Simple stuff. It's candle trading, and I put my stop loss below the wicks. You see what I mean? And now look, I'm up. I can move my stop loss to break even because I'm below the 200 moving average. And I'm up $600 off of $1,500. So you don't need a lot of money to make money. I do this all the time, constantly. It's so funny. People like, we dead the haters. We dead anyone that runs their mouth on Crypto Lifer because we do the same thing every day. And we show up more than everybody else and keep doing it. And you would think if someone did the same thing over and over again, they'd end up being good at stuff. And look, I'm telling you, look, I've been trading. I didn't trade this 2-3 years ago on the channel. Now I'm trading new, now it's my same strategy because look, when we pump, I sell when we're too far from the 21-day moving average because I know that's extension. Stochastics get extended, you get too far away from the moving average. You're over sold here, and you come down. So what do? Well, you wait for the tweezer bottom and you pump back to the 200. Now, normally I would sell at the 200, but I was looking for a bigger move and we got it. Look, we got the big pump last night. We got the big pump this morning for Bitcoin. And so if you're listening to me and you're in the trading group and you're taking the information and getting an education, you're going to start seeing what I'm seeing and you're going to put this stuff together the way we put it together. And so I make trading clean and easy. No, I don't use the word easy. My dad hated the word easy. I make trading clean and simple. I don't think anything is easy. I try to really stay away from that word. It slips out sometimes because we all say it too much, but nothing's easy. As my dad said to me, to you, Jimmy Price, nothing is easy. To my father, as he said, nothing is easy. He said it over and over again to me, time and time again. Sam, nothing is easy. And I said, you're right, Dad. Doesn't mean you can't have systems in place to streamline your success. To streamline your success, okay? People think that's easy. That's not. That takes years of hard work that then looks somewhat easy. But nothing's easy. Like it was easy just to wait for this green candle to close and get in, was it? But no, nothing's easy. People's emotions were there. They listened to too many people. I listened to the stochastics RSI and the fact that I'm away from the 21-day moving average. Beautiful trade, right? And I don't know if you realize, but I've been printing daily now. Since Sunday, like we've printed a trade. Green, gain, from short to long to back to short again. We called the bottoms, we short down. So anyway, it is what it is. I don't mean to brag, but if you've been in the trading group, we've been on a streak. Like I haven't really called Bitcoin wrong now. We've been nailing it. A scalp yesterday got hit but it was a 1-minute scalp, high risk scalp, right? It is what it is. Thank you, Shano. Appreciate you for relentlessly doing what you do. Shout out to everybody here in the live chat. Let's take a look here at what's happening to my lifers. Doing nothing isn't easy. Yeah, inverteds everywhere. Adam Nice, 1 hour inverted, breaking the neckline now. Interesting. Your education has made trading more simple to understand. Thank you, Sammy. God bless you. GB Gain. I'm so happy to hear that, like, when you get down with me, it makes sense. You know what I mean? It's important. The only way I feel successful is if people like my man Stack McChange, like I remember when Stack, we met and we did a one-on-one, me and Stack. It must have been what, Stack, 6 years ago, 7 years ago now? This is crazy. I think it was 2020. Might have been, beginning of 2021. I don't know. I feel like it was before, before, man. There's people that have been with me now for 7 years. Can you believe that? Like 8, 6, we started this channel in 2019. I can't say 7 years because I wasn't live for 7 years, right? 2019. 6.5, 5.5 years. But a lot of people that saw me when I first had like 10 or 100 subscribers, they're still here. They're still here. So we just caught a massive pump to the upside for Bitcoin. We are long, and I've been long, and it's as simple as just buying this candle. And again, I could have made way more. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That was a big move. Usually I make whatever Bitcoin makes, so if I'm up thousands, But I've been wary of Bitcoin, and I've been making some good gains, So just taking it in. Just taking it in. And we sold that trade last night too, which would be up even more. So 5-minute time frame makes a move. I was watching the 15-minute. So last night I was talking about the 15. Just looked like the likely culprit. I just said it's going to have to come back to the 21. We don't know how. Ended up making this beautiful flag and we got the pump, right? So Bitcoin broke out beautifully. And again, the 21 touching the 200 inside the flag. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. All right, and this is the call inside the trading group this morning. If you took the, so I wake up in the morning, and, I normally do a long Bitcoin update, but sometimes, I just want to catch your eye and tell you what's about to happen. So, right here, I'm showing you, if you get in right here at 66, 197, and you said, it's going to take a possibly to 68,860. This one could be a bigger trade, right? It says there's a larger measure move there. But even if you just take this smaller measured move, just this one, and then you get most of it, that's all the, Beautiful entry yet again, just using my system. The 21, 50-minute about the pump. Nice consolidation above the 200 moving average. I'm telling you at 8:42 that Bitcoin is about to go on a pump. I explained that the update on the live stream that we were going to watch the 15 to make sure it didn't lose the 200 moving average. Right? So last night I gave you a thorough update at 10 p.m. explaining exactly how to watch price action and use it to your advantage. Then the next morning, I showed you the trade and the place to enter the trade. Then the trade plays out. Then I give you a voice update pertaining to what I'm talking about when it comes to the trade. And then the trade is now in the money. And now I'm here live explaining how that all happened this morning, and we're still pumping to the upside. So it's the most transparent trading group you'll ever be in. Everything will connect the dots, from morning to night to morning. You'll be in tune with the markets in a way you've never been before. It's more than just signals. It's about sticking with somebody through the charts and really staying connected into the moment. One moment lead to the next, lead to the next, lead to the next. Momentum, consistency, discipline. Boom, 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 boom. And you just feel you get empowered by that. People can depend on you. Most dependable people, man, that's who you want to become. One of the most dependable people in the game. That's how you've made it. When people depend on you, you've done something with your life. Right? When people believe in you and they honor you and respect you because of how much you've shown up, your actions, that's when you're winning big time. Success will follow that. Money will follow that. Everything, accolades, all that, everything in life will follow that behavior. All right. So again, last night, the 15-minute 200 moving average held us down. Again, the moving average is coming to play. Previous resistance became support. The point of control here on the VRVP, understanding these concepts. What is the VRVP? What is it doing? How to add it to the chart? How many people don't know what the VRVP is? Right, VRVP 333. If you don't know what it is, as Bitcoin climbs for more to the upside, and we continue to count the gains. Doesn't stop. And like I keep showing you, you don't need a lot of money to make $1,000, $2,000 a day. Just need to stay consistent. That's starting to get a little far away from the 21-day moving average. Even the 1 hour to me is getting way too far from the 21. And my studies and strategies, this starts to kind of, that's getting a little too far for the 21. It's telling me I should kind of be running up there to take some profits, or at least I'll put my stop loss to the 200 moving average. Because that's a key area. And now what I want to do is start looking at the smaller time frames. If they continue to stay bullish, there's a chance here. You look here down on the RSI, and you want to start looking for divergence. And I do see kind of, look, a falling wedge, falling while price moves up. Kind of a bear div there. 67.2 looks like a nice, tight place to take some profit. We are above the 1 hour 200 moving average. It's a very bullish thing if you can stay above that. Maybe, you know what I mean? I've been super bearish the last couple of days. I'm not going to say I haven't been. The price action looked bad, but maybe there's a chance. And I always kept telling you, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. And maybe the smaller time frames can change our day, can get it going, can flip a script for us and make it happen. You never know. There's always a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. There's always a chance. There really is. 67,250. Let's move to the 1 minute. Let's see what's happening on the smaller time frames. Do I want to play the Russian roulette? Is this going to come down here, something like this? Wow, it's looking juicy right now, right? They're going after these shorts hard body right now. Do people still say that, hard body? Back in the day, man. I was saying that one in 2015 or 10 years ago. Even like, more, I was like 28. Wow, man, they're juicing this puppy. They're flattening these shorts. 67,420. I'm thinking of getting out of here soon. This is getting a little out of control. I'm expecting some red candles soon. I love the 1 hour above the 200 though. This could consolidate. I'll take my 700 and move on for the day. It's tough. Like, there's a battle here. Let's take a look at where the stochastics are on the 1 hour time frame. They're getting a little overbought. I just don't love how the 21 and the 1 hour there's a little far. It's a little far. It's a little far from itself there. But I mean, that could stay bullish. The 4 hour loves to pump up to the 200 moving average. I've been looking for this move. It's a chance I get hit out of here, and then I see this thing Moon City to the upside. As I said, that I was inches away from getting stopped out. $677 on the take. I can get back in, but there's a chance it moons so heavily. Can also be less greedy. See, it's like about greed too, right? It's like, I just put the stop loss right here. Take 462 no matter what. See if I can ride for more. There's a chance it just comes down and I could have taken the money. See, this is what people don't tell you about in trading. That's why it's important too to have a game plan. I'm like, well, I should sit in it until we hit. Key is to pay the trader as much as possible, whenever possible. But there seems to be some bullish sentiment here for Bitcoin. Trump's State of the Union, promising he will make crypto great again. It's like, come on now. And we got some key words. We got what we wanted, but it's still like, we're looking for this, the 21 to touch. We're looking for this to stay above this previous resistance, has support here. There's a chance this 1 hour continues to press just a little longer. I'm really hesitant when you're this far from the 21-day moving average. Busted through the 200, 67,290 now for Bitcoin. Once I figure out this decision, I can move on and do the analysis. But I got my own sauce going on over here. And I think about all the money moves in my life, small or big, it doesn't matter. Every little bit adds up over time. The key is to teach you. Am I teaching you? Am I helping you? Are you learning? That's all that matters to me. My main goal is if I take care of that, then everything else follows. My gains follow. Because when you teach people incessantly, you learn a lot. When you learn a lot, you get educated. When you get educated, you turn it into gains. So by becoming a teacher, I innately help my own portfolio. It's a selfish act by teaching. Understand? You share your knowledge, you get better at your own knowledge. You know, God showed me these things and he preached this to me. He showed me that if I gave to others, I would only get back more from my own will, my own self. You know what I mean? And so when people are selfish, they're taking away. They don't realize like they're taking away. They're making it harder to get abundance. When you give things away, abundance comes to you freely. Because, you know, you're giving a frequency off that makes sense. You're saying, hey, I know that I can continue to receive. Therefore, I can continue to give. This is starting to be a bit of the model. If this flags out the 21 touches, you should be looking for a continuation pump here to the upside for Bitcoin. And now I'm back up 7, sitting pretty here. Up 45% of the trade. This is live trading here on MEXC. Shout out to everybody here. You could jump into MEXC, Weeks, or BTCC. I also like Pionex. I use Pionex a lot. I'm actually got Pionex right here. I'm going to pull it down for a second. What I like about Pionex is its fast approach to speed trading on the smaller time frames. And again, don't do this if you're not accustomed to it. I'm not saying I'm doing it right now. I'm just going to start looking. I always say you can't buy real estate till you look at it, or at least, virtual tour it. I did rent my first home in Florida and I never went to it. But I mean, it was bigger than anything I had ever lived in, and it was cleaner and more beautiful. So like, what was I going to, beggars are not going to be choosers here. You know what I'm saying? I looked at it, I said, okay, it's nicer than any place I've ever lived in. I'll be all right. Like, if there's any other thing I'm not sure about, like a neighbor's dog or something, like I'll figure it out. I'll get over it. $68,015. I'd like to stop below at least the 21 now, if not the 200, the 21. At least this wick here too. That wick makes sense to me. 67,117. This is a very close to the bone type of trade. This is a true 1 minute scalp. Damn, I looked to the right for a second and I looked to the left and I'm like, there it goes. You know what I'm saying? There it goes. It's like a little late for me now. I'm like, I've been a little slow, man. I think the scripts the doctors got me just a step too slow, but I need to get my speed up, especially if I'm flipping on the 1 minute. Thank God I still got a trade open though. Hey, you still got a trade open over here. Don't blame the guy. But look, low stochastics curving to the upside. You want to look at when you see that cross of the blue crossing the red. That's money bags in the. That's nice. That's momentum going your way. So look, whenever I buy a stock, a trade, anything, whatever, I'm scalping short. If I'm buying long term, I'm looking for low stochastics on the weekly, 2-week, monthly. If I'm scalping, I'm looking for low stochastics on the 1 minute. You see what I mean? Whatever I'm doing, and if I'm getting out, I'm looking for high stochastics away from the 21. If I'm getting in, I'm looking for low stochastics on the 21. If I'm shorting, I'm looking to do this with high stochastics on the 21 below the 200. If I'm longing, I'm looking to get into low stochastics above the 200 with the 21. This is the Sammy Trippy Antando special. Bada bada boom, bada bada bang, bang, bang. Yes. I love what I do. I love this. I wouldn't change this for the world. I wouldn't do this. And look, we're back in action here. As you can see, that I just went over. This was supposed to happen here. I just missed my entry on the Scalpelino. Let's take a look tomorrow. We got some information real quick. We'll get right back. I know you wanted that green candle. I'll give it to you in a second. We got a little bit of a short squeeze. We got some liquidity up to 68,000 here for Bookmap. And it's starting, when the numbers start to shake, 67.5. I think that's the highest we've been on the show. So this is the highest this trade has been. Yeah, 730. DJ 730. I saw my 777s flashing. 48% gains. I mean, I like 48% all day. I mean, that's nice and that's beautiful. Smaller win compared to most, though. I've been in the trade pretty deep. Usually I'm up $3,000 on that trade, but that's okay. I must not have liked the environment too much. It was a little sketchy, man. They've been like bringing it up and down. I'm actually surprised I made what I made. I remember I just took 580 last night too. Made the $3,000, made like 35 on Monday. Things have just been going our way. I'm still in the gold trade. It's up 780. It was up like 1,500, but I'm just kicking it. I'm not giving up my position till I get to the gold. Get it? It's corny as heck, I know. So it's like that sounded like that was bad. That was like really bad. Like it sounded really corny. Like, I'm sorry. I'll never do that again. Oh man. Like I'm gonna lose sleep over that. No. My jokes are scarier than the X-Files. You know what I mean? So here, I guess that's kind of funny. Like, you know what's funny? I asked for people to put a 333 and then I didn't see who did it. So anyone here not understand how to use the VRVP? Put VRVP 333. I think it went under the radar there. Dot ripping, really, after all that. Yeah, when you have a level in the garage, you could be as corny as you want. Hey, thank you, Chris. He said it, I didn't. So look, I'm looking for gold to do some serious damage here to the upside. Beautiful trade for gold. Actually, like this is the entry right now. I mean, you're gonna get, if you get the tweezer bottom too as well. Tweezer bottom. Whenever you get that green next to the red, man. And that just looks beautiful and tight. I'm going for the gusto here for gold to 63.56 here. Okay. So, and I gave this trade to the trading group as well. I believe this is a beautiful time to get into gold right now. You do whatever makes you happy. I put the stop below this tweezer bottom a little lower. You could go all the way down to here if you want to be super banned. But you're going to think about, you got to figure out your stop losses yourself. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know what works for people and what doesn't. I don't know, proper your risk. I'm going to show you my risk management, how I go about it. And then it's up to you to kind of really take it from there. But this is a trader's market. We're attracting traders. You can see the stream is pumping. We're doing great. The trading group is actually growing this week. We're seeing a lot of people, a lot of interest in trading. I like it. I'm loving what I'm seeing, and a lot of people fell off. We never fall off. We're the crypto lifers. We went from 69,000 to 15K and we are still here. So we're already halfway through this one. If we do go to 38,000, we're all going to be prepared here with proper mindset, discipline, and we know that our lives are not about the price of Bitcoin because we have a life to live. If your whole life is the price of Bitcoin, you're depressed when it's up and you're happy when you're depressed when it's down. I'm depressed when it's up and I'm happy when it's down because I can buy more. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? So look, a little bit of a pump, but some sideways treachery there. Not amazing. Makes me wonder. I got to do my top-down analysis soon. It is going for the target, though. This is that next resistance area where you can see, look, I mean, it's the high volume node. It's the area of liquidity. And see the gap in the VRVP? You understand how there's a gap there, too? And you can see here, if I open it to like right here, but you can see how there's a glob of liquidity. Then we got a glob of liquidity there, and there's this nice hole. These gaps are where price action likes to just move. If you like the live streams, you'll love being in the like-minded boys and girls supporting each other in the trading group. Join us today at CryptoLifer.com. Look how fun this is. You go here, you click the link. I'll give you a second because I know you don't want to miss any part of the show. Hit the subscribe button. All right. You can do it as I'm doing it right now. Hit that. Then I'll give you some time to fill it out. So I know you don't want to miss the show, and you can't do both, right? So I'm giving you some time to kind of get in. And, you know, you can kind of finish a little bit on the side there. You're doing good. And now you're in. You're in the group. Welcome. There you go. You did it. Congratulations to the people that just joined today. I know you're going to love it. So let's take a look here. We can further get to 68,000. My 777 just flashed when I ran up there. But yeah, 68,000 is the target for this trade here. And wow, it went beautifully. It went up, which we called this short on the 5-minute. It didn't get stopped out. Took the gain. Took the exact same strategy. So look, the 5-minute strategy didn't look as fine. But you can see how I'm making money. It's really simple. I traded the 21 here, and that would have been a better entry. But I traded the 21 here above the 200. I put my stop lower than the lowest part of the flag that I was getting into. Same thing here. You get in here on the 21, you put your stop below the lowest part of the flag that you're getting into. So this was that. You see what I mean? This was the same strategy twice over. You could have traded on the 5 or the 15. They both gave you the exact same strategy. 15 was just a little further away for the 21-day moving average. Same sauce here when you short the market. You got a bear flag, you're on the 200 and the 21. This next flag is when you make the double top, you make the flag, and you're on the 21. You know, if you flip it upside down, it's the same thing. You're on the 21 above the 200. Boom. You short below the 200s, but you trade, you long above the 200s. You learn the lesson the hard way. You see? I like this 700. I think it's a good time to take some profits. That 1 hour just looks so extended to me from that 21. Overbought on the stochastics RSI. We've hit the 400 a few times. Put my stop right below the 200, but still there's a chance. What is that? Is that above 5? It's 532. I'm getting greedy for that 7. Yeah, it looks like the 15 minutes going to hang back to the 21 now. I'm going to take my profit. I'm going to front run the fact that this will close. And maybe it won't. I don't miss out on a massive pump. But so be it. Oh, nice little wick there. I'll hide below this wick. It'd be 680 probably. 699, that's fine. But it looks like it's going to make a head and shoulder. There's some bear div there. Right? Seems like people are hungry for Bitcoin. I'm happy I bought as much as I could. I'll tell you what, man. Price action looks bearish to me on the bigger time frame until now. We're going to do our top down later in a second. But so far, prices look bearish to me. By now, I've usually done my top down analysis. It's just today's a different day. Things have been off kilter for me. But this is at a 567. And whenever I've seen a 567, I mean, that's been a beautiful discount for me. And it's always paid off. Again, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. Every single time I bought Bitcoin below a 9 on the Fear and Greed, I got a good discount that paid off over time. But again, nobody knows for sure. There's no guarantee. So I got stopped out. I took my profits on that trade. And there you have it. All right. It's another one in the books. And we keep stacking. It's been a good week. Over like $5,000-$6,000 in profits in Sunday, and it's the beginning of Wednesday, right? We're just getting started. Like, this is crazy. And then I don't have to overtrade on the other, you know what I mean? Making the money like I did on Sunday was so amazing. Again, I'm having bone broth and collagen every single day because I had surgery on my ruptured Achilles. Right now I'm sitting with a splint cast on my foot. On Friday, the stitches should come out. It would be so amazing. We can begin to I can take a shower, man. You know what I mean? I take showers every other day. You know, I really do. I'm not going to lie to you. I take showers every 2 days now because it's just like, it's such a pain to do. So I'm sorry if you're smelling me right now, but I did take a shower last night. So I'm nice and clean. Or was it last night or the night before? Night before. But I still feel pretty clean. And normally, of course, I take 2 showers a day, sometimes 3, because I'm in the jacuzzi. I go to the gym. I work out in the morning. I used to. Anyway, this looks like a shoulder head. Right shoulder is forming. If you're bullish, you'll make some time, but you could do this too. And again, I could be wrong. This thing might just pump to the moon, folks. I don't know. Never like sell just because I sell, or you know what I mean? Do whatever you got your plan for. But I'm usually pretty good on selling like the local top of the afternoon or the morning, and we go from there. But you never know. There's no guarantees. All right. Shout out to my wife. She did it again. She liked to match the blue here with the blue. I thought she did a beautiful job. I would have went pink just to keep it, you know what I mean? I asked her, where's the pink? She said, no, I said, okay. Shout out to BB again with BB dressings. What do we call it? No, BB fashion. BBQ. Get it? BBQ. That's funny. GQ, BBQ. I kid. Anyway, I'm going to do a top-down analysis, but there could be, you never know. This might get tight and just continue to pump. For me, the 1 hour is just too far from that 21-day moving average. We've made a nice gap here. That's the gap. You come back. This also made an ascending triangle, you can see, with a bit of an inverted head and shoulder inside before it caught the bigger move. You see what I mean? And again, we were touching the 21. This was a textbook move for me. And we like to trade Tuesday, Wednesdays. And this was right there on Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. I mean, it's just like, this was beautiful, folks. It doesn't really get better than this. And you set up your trade, you're still in the money right now. And it could go to 68.8, which is the bigger target that I have set. Shout out to anyone that got, and again, that's why you can watch the trading group and say, oh, he gives a lot of calls. And I do give a lot of calls here. For instance, I just gave a gold call, which you may or may not have seen. But like, I just literally gave a gold call. I think people don't even realize how many calls I give, because it's so like, I do it without even thinking about it. But like, that is the call right there for gold. Maybe it gets stopped out. You never know. Maybe you want to go deeper to this stop loss. But for me, I mean, that's stop loss would be 4,829. Take profit would be 67,371. And the entry would be now for gold. And it just looks really nice. I'm just going about the TA. It's following geopolitical, and what's happening too around the world. Like, it makes sense. Even if you didn't watch TA, you'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Gold's I feel uneasiness. We don't know what's going to happen. Mexico going off yesterday too. You know what I mean? Funny, good time to buy Mexican real estate on the beach. I know it sounds horrible, but 10 years from now, it'll probably be worth so much money. And nobody wants to buy it right now. So you might be able to buy something at a discount at Puerto Vallarta. I mean, it's always been a great vacation place for years. Maybe that changes and it becomes the worst real estate deal ever. I don't know. Don't listen to me, but I'm just putting something out there that no one has really thought about, right? And look, I'm at break even. They didn't get me out. I got really close to getting kicked out of the trade there, you see? So look, I'm already up on the trade 370 with the stop loss, you see? I think that's a little too close too. I like to be below. Well, look, I've already turned this into a no-loss trade, right? Maybe even break even from fees. You never know the way it works on gold. But the idea is we're 20x lev on cross here. And there's a lot back in this trade, right? The liquidation is $2,500. So gold would have to go to $2,500 to take this trade down. Anyway, I like what I'm doing here for gold. It looks like a simple, this is simple. And a lot of people think when it's this easy, I can't trade it. They're going to stomp everybody out. And maybe they do. But I can't tell you how many flags. All I need is 3 out of 10 of them to trade. And most, I'd say 7 out of 10 of them trade like they're supposed to. This is a bull flag. It's supposed to break out 68% of the time. So if you set up to 100 of these, you're supposed to win 68 of them. If you do 1,000 of them, you're weighted 6,800. That doesn't mean you're not going to win. You're going to lose 3,000. That's why you're going to see me lose trades. Think about it. I've probably taken a trade like this, maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to say 10,000 times on the stream. But it's got to be in the thousands now, or at least in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So You take 1,000 of them, you're going to win 680, you're going to lose 320. So people are going to see me lose 320 times. That makes sense if you think about it, because I don't lose every day. I'm live every day, and you don't see me lose that much. But in the last few years, you probably, you know, I'm sure people have seen me lose at least 100 times or more on the stream. I'm a trader. I can't stop doing this. I trade my money for, you know, and some days the risk may be smaller or bigger. The thing is, I keep doing it. It's kind of like someone that's, you know, a boxer, and let's just say they get really big, but they go up and down. You know, you ever watch a boxer's career? Sometimes they're big, sometimes they get let loose, then they have to come back, and sometimes they take an injury and they have to fight their way back in. Sometimes they get, you know, go to prison for a couple of years. They got to kind of make it back in, and they got to take some fights that they wouldn't have taken before to work their way up. I look at that like trading. Like, sometimes you take some trades that, you know, they're not as big as the trade you took before. They're not going to change your whole life, but it keeps you trading. So when it is time to make that move, when it is time to execute, you're ready to go. You have what it takes to make it happen. Look, this looks like it's going to continue to pump. I usually do sell into the pump a little early, so this thing looks like it may just continue to rip. Look at that, man. That's crazy price action. That's bananas, as we say in the game. But you know what's crazy about it is it's my strategy, right? Like, if you look at it, it's the 21 above the 200. It's touching the 21 above the 200. It says that should make a move. It's crazy, right? Like how affirmative this signal is, and that's why I use a different signal. If your signal isn't this affirmative, then like, why not just take on mine? The man who gave away the gold, man. Seriously, like, if I was, you know, I'm not even going to say it, but maybe I downloaded the thought to you. I don't know if someone picked up. And you notice here, like, we really stay away from politics. You know, I talk about God and say blessed, but I stay away from heavy religious talk. And we really give you the charts, man. If I ever go off topic or what people assume would be, we talk about subconscious mind healing, how to get your mind right, how to believe that you deserve to win. You know, I grew up middle class. You know, my dad used to see real rich people and say, oh, he's a trust fund baby. Kind of shrug it off. And my dad was awesome, actually. He was a go-getter, worked hard. But he got it in my mind, and it was my own interpretation, too. Maybe it wasn't how my dad thought, but, like, you know, things rub off on you a different way. But I had the idea that, okay, like, to get really rich, you have to be born into it. Like, I'm never going to get into that class. I'll just get maybe if I'm lucky, 100 grand a year, maybe 140 grand a year as a union, like, you know, in some union, some type of job. And, you know, I'll get my mortgage and I'll pay my house off in 15 to 20 years. And, you know, and if I'm lucky, I'll own 2 homes, but it will take me like, you know, 40 years I'll buy my summer house when I'm 50. You know, you know what I mean? It's like, it took me a long time to buy my first home. I was 42 years old. Maybe 41, about to turn 42. Yeah, 41, about to turn 42 when I bought my first home. I mean, that's our generation, man. They made home buying very difficult. Like, I had to work every single day for years on end, start my own company, bust my butt, make the opportunity, or there was nothing, it was going to happen for me. You know, and if I stayed at the job I was at, I was going to continue, you know, I was making okay money, 110, 120 grand a year, sometimes 140 with a lot of overtime and not being able to really see my family, getting in at 10 and leaving at like 7 to 8 at 9 at night. And then with a commute of, you know, and I still had a small commute. I always made sure my commute was like 20 to 30 minutes. How? Well, I ran a commuter train that was really fast, and I was the first stop out of the city, and it would go to all these other stops on Long Island. Like, everyone else had a 30-minute, 40-minute trip out to Long Island, and they got on at Penn Station. And where I worked was like, I'd say a 12-minute walk from Penn Station, 15, and I got a bicycle, so it was like 3 minutes on a bike. So I could leave my job at like, you know, 6:30, and a lot of times I could make the 6:41 train. It took 11 minutes, literally sometimes like 9 or 10 minutes to get to my stop. Express right out of Penn Station. Boom. I jump off, and then my house was 30 seconds away on a bike from the train station. So I did the math. It would be like, I literally could get home in 21 minutes. And it was probably the fastest commute of anyone I knew. I went home for lunch a couple times. They give me an hour and a half, an hour, 20 minutes for lunch. You know, I could, an hour, but I could always kind of push it. I was really cool with my boss. I show up a little later. I'd run home, do some unmentionables. You know what I'm saying? Like, smash a sandwich and some peanut butter, like barely eat, decide to fast that day, not even eat, you know, and then run back to work. Take a 10-minute nap on the couch and go back to work. You know, crazy, right? And it was just weird to be home in the middle of the workday. I'd never been able to do it in my life, so I did it a couple times, and it was the last job I ever had. As I stopped working, man, I just didn't care anymore. Like, I got really crazy with I just so sick of working for other people. It was like I knew that my YouTube channel was going to take off and I was going to be able to quit my job, you know, because I was just done, man. By the end of it, I took a 3-month job where I remotely dialed in as like a remote engineer. My buddy hooked it up out of nowhere. I was living remotely in Boston. He said, "Hey, man, you're the only one I know that I could like teach and say you're doing it, and I could like still keep them on contract because I want to be able to do other things with them. But if I give the job to someone else, they're going to take away that my ability." Like, he wanted to upsell them on some stuff. He wanted to be able to install. So he figured if he threw me in there, he could keep me in place. I wasn't really like qualified for the job, but I knew enough. But he knew I was. I didn't think I was, but he knew I was. He knew what I needed to do, and he's like, "Sammy can do this." So he hooked me up. My last job was kind of cool. It was like this remote job. And I was like the remote technical advisor to, it was crazy. It was so fun. I was the remote technical advisor to like, you know, like, I don't know, like a $50 million TV production company or something, you know, $100 million, you know, and I was organizing their staff, telling them what to do, how to keep security going. And like, I was going into the terminal, the port terminal, you know what I mean? And like, I was setting up all the ports and like all the land. It was crazy. I learned a lot, man. This is a smaller scalping account. I don't like the risk to reward. It should be 3-1. I don't know why it's 67 or 165. Yeah, this looks like it's going to move. Still a one. What's going on? Like, yeah, 68, 9, 13. There we go. Kind of buying the breakout there. But see, I like this. And then you can just raise the take profit right there to where you want. So simple and easy here on Pionex. And again, it's like this on Weeks. It's like this on Mexi. Like the glide feature is very, if I don't have the glide feature, like if I work with an exchange, they don't got the glide feature, I'm always like, or like if they want to work with me, I sit on their exchange and I said, "Hey man, we're going to have to get that glide feature cooking or we can't work, man. I need to see the percentages." Like this is a prerequisite. I need to see the percentages as I'm making it, preferably not by hitting the advanced. You know what I mean? That can slow you down when you're scalp trading. Okay. Remember what I like about BTCC. Remember, you could trade gold, you could take Apple, AMD, Amazon. Look at this. I mean, it's crazy, right? Cloud Spark, right? Clean Spark, right? Isn't that like you can trade coin? I think that's Costco's. Would that be Costco's stock? Cost, right? And a lot of different things. You could trade gold, silver. You could trade the Tech 100, which is the NASDAQ, right? Which I told you was going to bounce in my weekly technical analysis video. I said, "What? We'll look for it to bounce to the upside. We're going to break this down. We're going to talk about it." But I called this epic bounce. I told you how to trade it. Told you where to put the stop loss. I don't really brag much about my NASDAQ calls, but they're spot on, man. I spend so much time on Bitcoin, and altcoins apparently too. But like, man, the NASDAQ calls in the group and the NASDAQ calls in the live stream, they are spot on, my friends. They are spot on. All right. Bitcoin continuing to soar. I like what I'm seeing here. So far, so good for Bitcoin. And again, just doing what we do here. Just doing what we do. Okay. 21 and 200. Trading patterns. Patterns do work. Don't let anybody tell you that patterns don't work. They don't work every time. Of course, nothing works every time. Nothing's 100%. But I will show you how to game this market. We could see when we were going to dump. Remember I called the dump on Sunday morning? I said it's going to dump. We shorted it. We made money. I called the bottom. How? We used the 1 hour 200 moving average. We traded this. I sold it right there. Boom. More dump. We saw bear flags. We called more dump. Yesterday when the 1 hour closed next to the 200 moving average. I look at the 4 hour close next to the 200 here. I get in on this green flag, right? On this green candle. You're still in the money right now. And I gave this bottom call with the stop loss below here that's still in the money too. It didn't get stopped out. They challenged it, but it didn't get stopped out. They tried to sweep the low. Seemed like people like those prices. Every day I do a top-down analysis for Bitcoin where we start at the month and we go all the way back to the beginning of time. No, but we go back to like the 1 minute usually. Just today's been hot with price action. I can easily get stopped out here. I don't want to lose what I've already made, so I just risked $100 of what I made to see if I can gain more. That's how I do it. That's a proper way to lose properly, win properly, right? So this is why I trade BTCC. You have access to things you don't have anywhere else. You can do it all under one roof. It's really nice. Okay. I trade Pionex because Pionex has a fast action scalping. It's just fast action for scalping. It's great on that 1 minute, on that 2 minute, that 5 minute time frame. It really reacts well to the smaller time frames. Weeks does too as well. I like weeks as well. If you like weeks, they're both applicable. I think the fees are a little higher on Pionex, if I have to be honest with you, depending on, so. But I do, you kind of get what you pay for. The user experience is amazing. So, it's, you weigh in the ups and downs. And then I trade MEXC because that has the least amount of fees of anyone in the game, right? So if you're going to have a bigger position, MEXC is the one. Here we are going higher than when I sold my position. This does look like it's time to kind of maybe possibly get in again. I see this as a flag that's about to break out. They faked it out. They're back inside the pattern. This thing looks mean. I see a short squeeze coming to 68,000 for Bitcoin. I could be wrong, but you can kind of see it building. This is a shoulder, head, right shoulder in a way. They're revving up for a bit of a pump here from what I'm looking at. I'd watch your shorts if I was shorting right now. I could be wrong. I'm not 100%, but I've been pretty dang, this week I've been spot on, man. Whatever I got, something's got me cooking right now. I get into these pockets, because I do this all the time. We get into these pockets where we hit a lot. So there's a live trade right here, right now. We talked about a live trade for gold that we went over. Okay. And now let's do our top dead analysis. I see this 4 hour mooning all the way back to the 200 moving average. I just see it just wanting to cook. When these get tight, you get the move up. I was very surprised here when this just kind of rolled over. I could see how to trade it. It told us we were going to dump, but when it did roll over, like we got the tweet, I was like, man, and we ended up getting this. And honestly, it looked like we were going to go lower, but right now, this is clearly a bear trap. They made people think it was going to go really far to the downside. They got big bears opened up, and now you got it. The key is now you got some big stop losses. You got a lot of liquidity right here. I don't even have to look at a liquidity board. I just got to be logical. A lot of people are going to openly short that. I didn't do it. I did it, and then remember, I closed my shorts down there because it looked like we got the reverse. I was like, man, I've been swing trading Bitcoin recently, and it's been great because I haven't been caught up in because if you have to go for the bigger trade, you were up huge. You had to hold it because you were going for way more. And now you're back to like right where you started, and you might get stopped out again for nil. So, and then you're like, damn, I was up $5,000. I was going for 20. And I should have just taken the 5. So many times this happened to me. I went for the big trade, the $3,000 for, 7, or let's say 7,000 for 21, 10,000 for 30,000, whatever, and bigger. And then I'm up 10,000, 8,000. I'm like, oh, and then it comes right back. And then I end up taking like $800 off the trade, or I break even at with $300 right above break even or something. And it happened to me like probably 20, 30 times. And I said, you know what? I'm done with the big kahuna. I said, I'm really good at making big money, like $4 or $5,000. I'm good at making, I made $3,000 on Sunday. I'm good at making $3,000 to $5,000 a day when I hold my mind and stop going for the big trade. When I go for the big trade every time, it's like, man. And so I learned what I was good at. I said, and I had a conversation with myself. I said, Sam, like, you're just not good at these bigger trades. I said, maybe it will be one day, and maybe we can start smaller, and we'll kind of slow you in. I don't know how I get myself in. I said, but man, you're damn good at making $4 or $5,000, man. I said, and that adds up over time. You know what I mean, that's 50, 60, that could be 50 grand a month. So like, so I said to myself, and that could be 500 grand a year. So I said, yeah, I could make it, instead of making this big trade where I make $500,000 or 200 grand or 100 grand, I chip away, man. And it just seems to work for me. So like, you got to find out what works for you. You see what I mean? You got to stick with what works for you. And you got to be honest with yourself too. When you keep losing a certain way, but you're winning another way, you might want to say, hey, for now, I'm going to stick to the other way. And it's like, I chase that big trade because I want to show that big fat win, but I'm a great consistent trader. So I tend to hurt myself when I go for those bigger trades. I tend to do really well when I just take money off the table, man. And so that's me. And maybe that's trading in a nutshell. Maybe everyone's going for the dream trade, and that's why they get everybody. When everyone should just be going for a couple dollars a day, man, that makes sense to them. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that is the key to success. Like, maybe I figured it out. Sometimes it whispers to me and says, I think you did, man. It's not about the golden goose. It's about being able to do it every day. Let's do my top 10 analysis. It's taken way too long today. I've never waited till 11:15. But you know what? A little far from the 21 on the 4 hour too as well. A little far from the 21 on the 1 hour. I like the candle close above the 200 though. One could enter right now with a stop just below here, and it could end up being explosive. But the last time we did get the move up, we just didn't get the follow through. We did get a pump though. Had you bought the last candle above the 200, put a stop loss, it would have waited a bit. So what I'm waiting for now is the next beautiful consolidation. So what can happen now is Bitcoin could pump, and it might pump out of control. It's going to get further and further from the 21. It did. Look, 67,650 for Bitcoin, starting its move here to the upside. And look, I get free scalps, free trades. I'm live trading like I've been going hard. And yeah, we lost some trades last week. It was low volume, and I traded through it. And I lost very little compared. You can see that, right? I think one day I lost 400. The next day the other day was like 370 or something. And I made some money later that day to counteract the loss, which no one gets to see, unless they're in the group. But that's okay. You don't get to see everything on the live. You get to see most of everything, but not everything. And so this looks like it's going to take a move here to 68,000. I'm pretty keen on it. And I'm live trading here on Pionex. Try out Pionex today. You can use the link in my description. It's not in my pinned comment, but let me know what you think about it. I think it's a great exchange. It's fun. It works. Liquidity is fast and acting. Everything seems intact. I never stopped using Pionex. It's my premier scalping. And when the market's just not got a lot of action, I just can't scalp that much. So yeah, what I want to see now is the 21 come back. So price continue to pump. So price is going to do three things. It's going to continue and dump out of nowhere, turn to a head and shoulder, and this will never happen. It's going to go sideways, or it's going to pump up a lot and then go sideways. You know what I mean? Like, this is really like, I guess it's four things. It could pump up a lot and then dump a lot. But what I'm telling you is the odds are now the next big trade is when this 21 reaches the 200 again, when price. And this is just, I'm so good at waiting for this now. And this is going to take time. This is what I would love to desire. We get to the daily high today. The daily closes green. In 17 hours, 10 to 17 hours, we make a flag. The 21 touches. And we get to trade it again. We get in with a stop loss below the 200 or below this resistance and support here, which is great. We use that, like maybe right here we put a stop. And bang. And so I can already kind of see the trade, and I may never get this trade. It may continue to pump to oblivion. 67,800 right now. But I mean, that's a 3-to-1 with a stop at that 200. And so this would be beautiful. Now, what I know is we might continue to pump, and I mean, the further from the 200 though, the higher the risk. I like to be closer. Well, look, I mean, 3 white soldiers, 3 green candles in a row, and then you produce 2 more green candles. I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. Bitcoin had 3 white soldiers right here. 1, 2, 3, reversal pattern. Someone in the group talked about it. They said 3 white soldiers for Bitcoin. And then boom. It's crazy, right? And again, just buying the green candle next to the red one with the stop below the wick. I found it's a very low risk positional trade. It makes a lot of sense to me. After years of doing the math and studying the risk, I'm like, man, this is like the best risk I've ever taken. I said, this is where the money's at. I love this. Like, I can't get enough of these trades. So, like, I'm loving, and again, I didn't do this just even 2.5 years ago. I traded all moving average and patterns and stuff. And I might have front ran it on the bottom or just taken the divergence. I just see so many things now. Like, look at the strong divergence that did cap up. It was harder to see, but I mean, that is a divergence right there. You're swinging up on the RSI, down on price action, and it marks the bottom. Never the bottom there. It's always the higher low on the RSI, not the lower, you know what I mean? Which is crazy because you think that's the low. But it's the higher low on the RSI. When the selling isn't as low as it was before, that becomes the low. See, that's why divergence tricks people, because people learn the RSI like I did, and they think I'm going to buy the low RSI. So they buy low RSI, and then they get... So this is what happened to me. I got taught how to buy oversold, right? And I didn't have the stochastics. I had the RSI and the MACD when I started trading. And so I looked for these two things. And when I found them, I would be like, okay, that's the bottom. And sometimes it was kind of close enough, like this one, you know what I mean? But a lot of times I'd get in and then I'd get stopped out. I didn't know divergence at the time, and I got really frustrated. I kept saying, I know my stuff. I back tested this stuff. Like, I look every time, I said, that's supposed to be the low somewhere when we're down, you know? Look, low RSI, like, there it is. But, so I'm buying it here every time, getting stopped out on the divergence. Stopped out. That's what I realized is the divergence is when the people that don't know how to trade are getting stopped out. And the people that do know how to trade are getting in. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the pathway to the other side of trading. Divergence. You know, when you either stick to your divergence or you don't. You stick to it, you become a pretty dang good trader. You don't stick to it, and you learn why you get stopped out so much. You know, and a lot of people say, well, you're you know, I get in just like you, I learn just like you, but I get stopped out. How come you don't get stopped out? And they almost think it's like I'm doing a bait and switch or something. I'm like, no, you're just like, you're not adding the key pieces to trading that I am adding. You're neglecting a few more add-ons that you need to push to keep it moving, right? We want you to win. We want you to learn. We're begging for you to jump on in, right? And again, man, retail felt at 100,000. You know, the reason why, too, the stream is so big today, 1,300 people, God bless you all, is because retail felt that, in my opinion, that they were priced out of Bitcoin, that there was no more way to get in. And I think a lot of people said, no, you can buy half a Bitcoin, you can buy a quarter Bitcoin, you can buy 0.1. And they said, okay. And when it dumped to like 80K, I think a lot of people said, okay, I'll buy a little bit. And now it's at 60K, and now they're realizing, okay, these are the opportunities. Like, it was 126. Like, even people that aren't that good at trading and aren't really math, you know, my friend, he's not the biggest math guy. He's never claimed to be the smartest guy in the world. And he'd call me out of nowhere, and he was like, I think this is a good time. I mean, it was 120, now it's 60. I mean, you know. And I said, I think you're spot on, my friend. You know what I mean? Like, so like even the average Joe now is looking at Bitcoin like, hey, when it was at 120K, they felt like I can't touch that. And it was all institutions, big money. And they figured it was going so high, they could never touch it again. And they kind of got depressed. I think it made some people feel like they were gone. So this is a gift right now, 67,000. I honestly didn't think we'd ever see below 90K again. I looked at the TA, and the TA told me anything could happen. But once we were up at 120, before we did the divergence, fine. Once I saw the TA, fine. But before the divergence, I was like, man, I don't see how we could get up. You know what I mean? And again, I'm up $100. People tell me that if they made $100 that day, they would be out of their minds happy. Some people in third world countries, they said they could feed their family for a week. I've heard this, man. And look, how much did we use in margin? 462. You see, I'm not using tons of money. I always tell this to people, like, you got to know when and how to get in. You got to study the markets. There's opportunity out here for the people that are very diligent, very precise, and very well back-tested. I've put in so many years and years and years and years and years to see what I see now. And it looks so obvious to me now, doesn't it? It's like, oh yeah, there's the inverted head and shoulder. There's the consolidation, 21 above the 200, inside the flag, like the movement to the upside. And look, we're about to hit 68,000 as was called. as was called. At this point, look, you can move the stop loss to break even. No reason not to. You can see all my trades now have stop losses to break even. We're just matching it. I don't know if the bottom is collagen or it's bouillon. You know what I mean? So I just feel like I have to drink it. So I want to get it moving there. Puts a lot of weird stuff in my teeth, though. Sorry about that. I'm drinking bone broth because I had surgery on my left leg. My Achilles tendon is ruptured right now. I'm sitting in a cast. My knee is in pain. My back hurts a little bit. It's not easy. I'm not complaining. I guess I sound like I'm whining. I don't want to ever sound like I'm so grateful to be here every single day. I'm so grateful that I had a job that I could do from home, man. I haven't been able to drive a car. You know what I mean? I haven't left my house, and I don't know the last time I was outside. I went in for surgery almost 2 weeks ago. I haven't been more than walking around my property in 2 weeks, man. Yeah. I haven't gone anywhere, not to a museum, not to a restaurant, not to the beach. Nowhere, man. It's okay. I'm not complaining. I'm fine. I have a beautiful life. God loves me. My daughters are nice to me. My sister's visiting. She's been a sweetheart. It's been a blessed time because my sister's here, man. I'm always in a good mood when my family's around. You know? So I always focus on the good, man, not on the things that, 68,000 to me should be that high of that moment, right? Like, I feel like 120 is a good scalp on $462. You don't want to get greedy. You got to look at what you put in and where you're at. Like 27% is a winner, right? If you do that 10 times, you can grow the account, right? Don't be greedy. Just learn how to grow. At first, you're growing the account till you can get it up to make substantial money to pull out enough to pay your... Like, so first you start with, let's say, $4,000, $3,000. You'd have to double it to be able to make, like, $1,500 a month or something. And, so you got to get that account up to 10 grand. So you got to just slowly get it up by just continuing to win over time. Like, there's kind of a bear div there. Anyway, let's get back to the top-down analysis for Bitcoin. It's crazy how it's taken me this long. I'm so like nervous. I can't wait to see what's happening on the bigger time frames. Not nervous, excited, really, I should say. Because the daily candles should look pretty good, but again, they faked us out a lot recently. Nice to see 67K, I'll tell you that. It's crazy how, like, price action does that to you. 67K at 120 was a nightmare. At 60K, it's a pretty dang good thing to see. So looking at the monthly candle, we know, and I've told you this every day, we need to wait for March to close. And we need to see March close a green candle next to a red one here. And that, boom, with a wick, and then boom, we can start a possible reversal. Maybe this is a giant inverted head and shoulder, as I said, and maybe we turn this into, a pattern. And Bitcoin goes on its merry way on this bigger move to the, I'm open-minded. Believe me, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. It could happen. But bigger time frames suggest if you end up going any lower than 58,000, you're likely coming down to 47. And if you go to 47, you could hit 38. Even that level right there at like 35,000. So somewhere between 38 to 35 to me would be the possible bottom. Again, Bitcoin does like to come to the previous high of the last cycle, and it's never broken that. And we technically came to the previous high of the last cycle on the candle bodies on the monthly. We went to 69, or, that's crazy to think that we're below that high though right now. It just doesn't make sense we're below the high, 69 of that, like years ago. Like that was 5 years ago, we were at 69,000. Bitcoin is a crazy anomaly, man. It's like, its volatility is its gift. You got to stick to that. Beautiful tweezer bottom here on the 12-hour, very oversold. Possibly like attempting a bit of a double bottom here. Or, kind of looks like a Bart Simpson, right? What I would call it an inverted Bart Simpson, no? We haven't said that in a while, but it looks like an inverted Bart Simpson. Okay, what is the Bart Simpson in trading? I'll show you in a second. And it's a real thing. Like it's a real thing. But if you look at it here, like that's a Bart Simpson right there. That might even be me. No, maybe not. It looks just like something I would draw. But that's a Bart Simpson. You know, these are kind of Barts. And those are Head and Shoulders. This is a Bart. Looks a lot like what we're looking at right now. All right, that's a Bart. You know, these are the Bart Simpson pattern in trading. That's a really good Bart right there. See? Bitcoin holding strong, 67,850, looking bullish. I feel like the 1 hour is just getting so far from that 21, but hey, I've seen massive pumps come from this too. I don't care if I'm not in a left trade at the exact moment in time we're pumping, because as long I went in so heavy spot that it's bigger than any probably left. I mean, some of my left trades would have to really get pretty big to contend with the spot position that I got into. So I'm all about acquiring, you know, real long-term edge by buying Bitcoin on the lows when the fear and greed is where it's at. I mean, this is a gift to me. 5, 6, and 7 as a guy that's been watching the markets as long as I have. Unbelievable, right? So back to this idea, Bart Simpson on the 22-hour time frame for Bitcoin. This could be possibly like in a strange Adam and Eve there. 22-hour time frame, always the candles look real funny. See how much nicer they look in the 12-hour. It's so funny. And like, that's 3 white soldiers, man. That could just like it doesn't. People don't believe me, but that could just like. It's almost like, well, you're back inside the pattern for sure. So it was right now. It was a bear trap. Looked like we were going to dump real far. Reverse that price to the upside. We're able to see it. Why? By tweezer bottoms. By 1 minute 200 moving averages, by 5 minute 200, by the 15 minute 200 moving. Last night I told you, watch that 15 minute 200. I would not be shorting if we stayed above it, and I would look for the long if we stayed inside the pattern, which we did. Everything played out exactly as we kind of went over it should. You know, we had a plan, we went over it, it made sense. It's not an accident, it happens. Shout out to the 1,400 beautiful souls here on the live. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to jump on in today, let me know. And I guess I am going to teach class, I guess, the last Saturday of the month until we figure it out. Well, that's going to be, that's this weekend. Right? So, I believe we're set up for class if you hit the QR code right there to go to class. But I usually teach a class every single day. We just have so many people here. Anyway, and if you want to jump into cryptolifer.com, go to cryptolifer.com to find out more. I'm there every single day. I haven't taken days off. I'm here on the markets. I trade gold, silver, Bitcoin, NASDAQ. I give you charts for a lot of different stuff, mainly Bitcoin, but I trade everything. And I can teach you how to trade anything in the market. I really can. I know I can. I've turned so many people that knew nothing about trading into trading anomalies, man. People that really like understand the market, know what they're doing, have proper risk management, and people that just have like a good outlook on life, stay positive. We build strong individuals in that group, man. We build a good society. Like the Crypto Lifer Society would be strong. Men that take care of their children, right? Men that support their women, women that support their men, like good families, strong nucleus, like Crypto Lifer, man. Like a place that you can grow, a place where kids can learn with their dads, a place where girls can learn with their moms. No profanity, you know? We can really, really grow together with education. We can understand what's happening in the world around us. They print our money to zero. I talk about it all the time. You know, I got into Bitcoin because of financial freedom. So to me, the 1 hour is just too far for the 21. I like the frenzy going on today. Everything looks pretty good. We're back above this trend line. Look, I mean, they did all the damage out here. They moved us back inside. You could even kind of make this trend line this way and say it was like this, I guess. What happened here though, right? So, but we're back inside. Bit of a bear trap for sure. I'm not buying it though until we get this 21 and the 200 to kiss. Yes, I said it. They need to make sweet, sweet pancakes. So we need to see the 21 come up here, cross the 21. We need to see price action get tight, stay above this trend line. And that's going to be my next massive long. Maybe there's a chance it just squeezes up and I miss it. It's happened, but it's rare. I think there's like a 10%, 5% chance of that happening. The most likely scenario is that we go sideways here. We hit 68K a couple more times, maybe 68,250. We break out hard. But we go sideways here for a little bit. All right. We pumped basically all night into the, and into today. We've been pumping ever since 8 in the morning. So we've been pumping now for 3 hours straight. After the State of the Union, that's kind of what you want to see. Very bullish on crypto, but it's funny. Trump has been saying, I'm bullish on crypto. I love crypto. Or crypto's going to win. We're going to make crypto this, crypto that. I'm like, what the heck happened to crypto, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, on the outside, I've never heard so much awesome stuff for crypto. On the inside, crypto's never looked so insanely bearish. Or just not even bearish. I'm going to say people aren't excited about it anymore. Bitcoin still got excitement. Ethereum actually has some excitement. It's interesting. Ethereum has some excitement. Tom Lee continuing to buy, down $6 billion, buying more. He's about to hold, I think he holds 3% of the supply now at Bitmine, right? It's just crazy, man. Like, he's going to own 3% of the entire supply of Ethereum. I find it fascinating when you really think about it. It's mind-boggling. I mean, Bitcoin's looking like it might continue to get bullish here. Could it pump to 69K? Look at this. When I dive into the liquidity, you kind of zoom in here and you really open it up, and then you bring it down. When you see we got some all the way up to 69,000, we could get there. Still says 60K is like a holding port, though. Wow, look at this. We're about to go to 68K again and just push. 1 minute is back in a flag on the 21. Let me delete this quickly. But that's a technical entry if I was a little swifter there. You're touching the 21 with low stochastics. That's a scalp, and that looks like it's going to pump. You go to the high 68,000s real quick. Look how low and curved that stochastic is. The stochastic is really a good tell. So, like, you use the 21 on the stochastics, you're locked in. You got some supportive resistance in there on a flag, and you're really locked in. You got some supportive resistance, some proper risk management, and a fib. You're triple locked in. You're more locked in than anybody in the game. You know what I'm saying? I could teach you how to lock in if you want to lock in. I don't know. It's up to you, though. It's completely up to you. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this blessing and all these beautiful people here on the live. One of the hottest lives in the game, man. In the barest of markets, we got dang near 1,500 people here on the live. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I still got so much to go over in so little time in the stream. It's just insane. That's the little flag we're going to watch here on the smaller time frame. So we took you from a top-down analysis all the way back, right? The daily with the monster candle back. That's amazing. Amazing. Took it all back. Took what looked so bearish and took it right back. I was super bearish. I'll be honest with everybody. I was bearish, man. But I'm able to trade and see what I see in the markets and what I see the next morning. That's why I do the update every night, every morning. It keeps me in tune, or at least use the charts to say, hey, what I see. Like, I was long this morning. I woke up. I didn't tell anybody to short nothing. Could have been short on the daily still technically, right? Because, I said it was about to pump, man. I called it. Still pumping right now. Like, it's crazy. Look at the size of that daily candle. Again, I've seen Bitcoin go right back down too. Every pump has been a dump. I don't trust any of this stuff recently. That's why I really want to see the 1 minute do something cool. And the 1 hour make this bullish flag here. Same with kind of how we rocked the 15-minute last night. Like, we had the pump. We had to come back and consolidate. Up here, I said, let's watch this flag here. It dumped pretty fast too. Same idea here. Maybe we continue to pump. There's a chance. I got that 1 minute now. I didn't take the flag, but that looks interesting. To me, the move usually ends around 11:15 to 11:30. Just generally, like, you know, when we get, and again, this is why I love the time slot, 10 a.m. to 12, man. It's the liquidity bomb of the day. It happens all the time. I'm looking for consolidation. I'm looking for a red candle now to close next to a green one on the 15. I'm looking for the 15-minute to come back to the 21. I'm looking for price action to consolidate. I'm looking for a trade later tonight. Wednesday night, man, oh my God, one of my favorite nights to go long once price action has established itself above a previous support or resistance level. Wednesday night, man. Tuesday night, beautiful. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, man, oh my gosh. Those are my nights, baby, when it comes to trading. And you can kind of see the inverted head and shoulder there, too, that ended up playing out. Anyway, I want to show you something a little different. So crazy how this all played out. Nuts, man. And it was all about, look, the 21 there. It was really the 15-minute. And again, I can't explain why. But certain time frames at certain times are going to give you the sauce. Like this time, the 15-minute really told you what was going to happen. It gave you the entry. It gave you the sauce. It said this is it. I think I was even a little late on it, something like this, but I still got you in. If you just woke up, say you were driving to work, you didn't have time to look at the charts. Second you get to work, you see this. You get in with the stop. You made money today, like no problems, no questions asked. Trade, CryptoLifer.com. So if you're a busy person, you want to get, that was a trade alert. I don't give signals, but that one was called trade alert, man. Like, hey, man, pay attention. And I'm on like a doctor's on, man. I'm really on call, folks, for you guys. For less than $3 a day, you got a guy who's been doing this for a long time on call for you, breaking it down. Let's take a look at the S&P futures, which I expect to pump. I called the pump. I called the move back to the upside out of this falling wedge. Both of these wedges, right? But look at this. I mean, it's doing what I say it's going to do. Up back here, getting tight. They're going to print this money. It may even get tighter. I feel like it's going to break out even sooner. Something more like this, and it could start to pump by the end of March. I keep getting March into April is when something big is happening. Liquidity changes hands. Remember, the repo market, I've told you this. I went over it last night. I might as well talk about it again. I have it right here. All right? This is super important for you to understand. The Federal Reserve ends its quantitative tightening program December 2025, and it shifted to expanding its balance sheet through reserve management purchases to maintain ample reserve in the banking system. This involves monthly purchases of treasury bills and short-term securities. This pushes securities up. People can take profits. Where can they put the money? Into Bitcoin now that it's low. You pump securities. What do people want to do? Take profits. What do they do with the profits? They put it in a distressed asset, effectively injecting liquidity into the markets and into Bitcoin. Based on the latest operational schedules for the New York Fed, the ongoing injections are as follows. Current period, February 13th to March 12th. That's us right now. Right now, approximately $13.4 billion to reinvest purchases, plus $40 billion in reserve management purchases. A total of $5.34 billion. We're currently in this window as of February 24th. As the next few weeks, we'll see the remainder of these operations executed. Prior period, January 15th to February 2026, a similar structure with $15.4 billion in reinvestments plus $40 billion in reserve, totaling $55.4 billion. This is printed money out of thin air, folks. This is making your dollar weaker every day. This is going to push the price up of securities, Bitcoin, anything with a scarce asset. Your Lamborghini, your Ferrari's going up. Your GTR3 911 going up. GTRS3. Your GTRS3s are, right? Your Porsche 911. It's all going up. Okay? Keep it in good shape. Take care of it. It's going up. Because the dollar's going down. Look ahead to the next few months. The Fed plans to continue this approach with a specified end date, aiming for gradual balance sheet growth to match reserve demand. Expect around 40 to 60 billion per month in net injections, combining reserve management and reinvestments. Potentially scaling based on market conditions, meaning going up. This doesn't include short-term repo operations, which have been used sporadically. 40 billion in December and a year-end spike of 74.6 billion. But those are temporary and not part of the sustained balance and sheet expansion. As of mid-February, the Fed's balance sheet has already grown to 6.6 trillion. from 6.5 trillion at the end of 2025, reflecting these early injections. If economic conditions shift, the pace could adjust, but current projections point steadily liquidity support through at least Q2 of 2026. You understand? This is so important to understand. Look, I like that we had 1,400 people here. 1,400 people stayed for this. This is not when you click off, when I'm regurgitating news. This is not regurgitated news. This comes from us. I said, hey, Grok, how much money is the Fed injecting into the markets in the next few weeks and the next few months? What a question I had to ask, right? And boom, there it is for you. There's your investment strategy right there. I mean, do the math. That's real money coming into real places, doing real things. So they can say whatever they want and then eventually cut the interest rate, right? We look at the CME watch tool right now to see where we're standing. Always have to refresh it for some reason. Again, 98%, they're not cutting the rate. So not happening. Okay. For whatever reason. And the next meeting is March. Wow, we have a long time to this next meeting. Right? Basically the day after St. Patty's Day, right? Yeah, March 18th. No rate cut. That will be a nothing burger. I think by that time, we're going to kind of see if Bitcoin has really bottomed or is just kind of dead cat bouncing right now. So yeah, I feel like I got to trade that. I have to trade that. I have to trade that. It just looks too dang good. I don't even think I have a moment. Hold on. Oh my God, I got to trade that. They're going to, oh my goodness. So I get out at 68,725. I get in at 67,676. I like that. That was easy numbers. I'll go 200 because we just made 100. Right? Not good odds. I don't like the odds there at all. Hold on. Let me look at that. It just looks too dang good, though. I mean, how's that not going to pump? How is that not going to pump? Maybe it just goes right for the stop hump, but that's just, wow. I got to take that. I've traded this exact pattern. This is me. This is like apple pie and freaking, and vanilla ice cream, man. Probably have no idea what I'm saying, but it's just too good to be true for me right there. That's a bull flag. 21 touching. You're above the 200. You consolidated nicely. I mean, I feel like that's free money. Like, I don't know how I don't get paid on this. Like the king of 3%. Nobody makes 3% more than me. This guy prints money from his desk with his foot up. How does he do it over here? I've never seen anybody print like this. He's out of his mind. The guy is crazy. You've never seen a show like this. You'll never see a guy do it the way he does it. Okay? Let me tell you something about you and you and you and you and you and you and you over here. Eh? Let me tell you something. I want to show you guys my leg if I can, but nobody cares. I know nobody cares. Still might be there. Let's see. There she goes. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. I don't know if it'll... I don't remember if I've added the... I haven't added the link in a bit. I don't know if it like holds that same link. Seems like it's spinning, like it's attempting to connect, but it's not getting anything. Got to get that link at the beginning, right? I don't know if I can get the link from here. Anyway, I'll show it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm sitting with my leg up. Let's see if we can get this move to the upside. Started nice. Getting sticky, as I say. But that's just a beautiful consolidation I just feel like 68, 69 is the end of the rally for the day. We're going to kind of cool off. And then we can get that bigger trade tonight on the 1 hour time frame. It just tells me kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm honing in. I love trading the same asset day in and day out. You just get so much, you get really in tune with the asset. You understand really its motions, how to trade it. It makes sense. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We appreciate you. Thank you to the Google algorithm who really decided today. You're like, you know what? This guy never stops. If we're going to run it, we're going to run it over here. You know what I mean? Thank you, Google. Thank you, YouTube. I appreciate it, man. I've given you guys my entire life. So, smart place to be. You know what I mean? Should definitely put us out there as in the browse tool. You know, any tree. If you're putting any channel out there, put the channel that never taken a day off. We're never going to let you down for putting us out there. We're never going to let the algorithm down for putting me out there. And whatever ads you run at the beginning of the stream or whatever you got to do, which I see, you know what I mean? They should be profitable for you because I never miss a day. So if you think about it, if they knew me over there in the back end of the office, they'd say, hey, man, pump that guy's stream, man. He never misses a day. Like, get that thing going in the browser, get it going in the search tool, get it going. Shout out to the 500 likes. Let's get the likes to 1,000. I would really appreciate it, folks. Thank you so much. Had to take advantage of that move there. So I talked about the S&P futures getting a beautiful bounce, and it did. I even talked about getting in on the trade, went over it for you. The NASDAQ as well. I showed you the trade right here, showed you the entry, showed you the stop. You're up on the trade right now if you took the NASDAQ trade. All right, I gave this on a Friday afternoon before the market closed even. So bang, I mean, this thing, I see, you know, again, you can see my green candle. I'm not hiding nothing. Everybody was really bearish. They said double top, all this nonsense. I said the Fed's injecting money into the market. I don't understand how it's not going to go into, tech stocks, weapons, and then you got possible war. When war goes on, you know what happens, right? Stock market goes up a lot of times, right? Because you get production, you get people buying, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I don't think we're going to go into World War III. I hope not. They've been predicting it since 18 something, right? You know that. Yes. They've known about these wars since the late 1800s, man. This has all been a long plan. Again, same strategy, same structure, same idea. Let's take a look at how to trade the NASDAQ today. You could have waited for the 21 to touch price inside the flag. The ascending triangle right there above the 200. You could have waited for the 1 minute to cross above the 200 moving average. Like right there, and made a trade. Right now, you're actually in a flag as well, just like Bitcoin, which almost tells me that it looks like this isn't just Bitcoin pumping. This is the dollar about to drop. This now also tells me that I'm probably likely going to win this trade more because the NASDAQ is looking the same. Looks like we might get one more big spike up here. NASDAQ's looking like a bullish move to the upside is coming as well. Target for the NASDAQ is 25.5. So if you're a NASDAQ trader, which is uncanny, but it looks like there's a trade here at like 12 o'clock, midday, which is, a bit odd, right? Usually not middays, usually when I take a break, but look at that consolidation. That looks like a nice scalp on the NASDAQ. I could be wrong. Maybe you get taken out. It's high risk for sure, but that's a nice scalp on the NASDAQ, right? I send that to the group too. You'll get that alert if you're looking for it. It'll come out to you there. You could be at work. I don't know where people are. They're doing all sorts of stuff. I appreciate that. Remember, man, I made the transition just like you. I worked a 9 to 5. I broke out somehow of a mental cage and started building something that I never thought possible. And now here I am. We can all do things that we never thought possible. We could get to places we never thought. We can break mental walls and barriers that are holding us back and turn ourselves into machines, man. But you are more capable than you've ever thought you are of everything that you've ever thought you could be. You're an amazing person. You have gifts that you never thought you could, you know what I mean? Once you really start pushing yourself, you're going to realize that your level, the exponential level that you can hit is just, it's infinite almost, I'm surprised what I do every day now on a daily basis. I could get things done that used to take me months. You know what I'm saying? You think gold would be moving up with this trade just because just because, right? You know what I'm saying? Because if the dollar and the NASDAQ, you know, this looks like a dollar trade. Meaning oil should be going up too as well with this idea, right? So I just want to take a look at U.S. oil. And look, it's starting to turn kind of more into a rising wedge too as well, which is kind of more of a parabolic vibe. See, every time the stochastics reset, we're getting more buy pressure. It's kind of telling you something. See, the stochastics can tell you where the momentum is going before it gets there. If you use it all the time, you can get really keen on it. And like, see how it's curving right there? Like, that should probably push us to the upside. No guarantees. There's a little bear div there. And again, after all this, may just lose the trade, right? It's so, like, you know what I mean? The bigger trade was earlier today. I took that 700 off the table. And now I'm looking to trade big time tonight on that 1 hour. Like, I'm home. I already kind of see where my big trade's coming. And see, that's why you want to be in the group, because later tonight, I'm going to really dissect, you know, maybe in a video at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. When I see something, I'm going to dissect it very well. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how to plan for it before it happens. I'm going to show you how I execute for it, then I'm going to execute it. I'm not just going to jump into the trade. Sometimes I do. I don't, you know, it depends on the time, but a lot of times I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for before, how I look for it, how it happens, and then when we're going to nail it. And this is what you want out of a mentor, not just signals. You want to be able to see how it's happening in real time. You want to be able to nail it, okay? You can do this. Let's jump on into the super chats real quick and see what's happening with the super chats. I'm looking to start 1,000. Should I apply the 1% rule and make 10 trades? Yes, that's really what you should be doing. 100%. It's boring. It's not easy. It's going to be very tempting to open up bigger positions. But if you can't make a 1,000 into 1,100, then you have no business doing anything different. All right. Could this put some altcoins? Altcoins are at the bottom of their barrel. Yeah, POPCAT looks interesting. I love trading POPCAT. It's always actually been good to me. I kind of look, it followed Bitcoin. Like, if you had just traded this 15-minute on everything and you'd be taking profits now, it does look like it's going higher. Well, it would probably hit this resistance, and that's probably a good time. I'd be thinking of selling, but again, maybe it's more on the 1 hour. 1 hour just got above the T. Again, the same thing here now. For the whole market now, I'd be waiting for the 21 to catch. This would be beautiful. We may get this Thursday night, Thursday morning even. I'd set alerts for this. See, this is how I kind of go about trading. Everything is a preemptive idea before it happens. I just want to jump in when I see it. That means I'm not fully prepared. Look at the boom, baby. Boom. Bam. Bam, baby. Bam. Sammy does it again. Move the stop loss to break evens. Can't lose any money on the trade just for a fee or two. Let's go, baby. Pump it. One more big green candle. I feel like I'm getting greedy now because we know that 1 hour is away from the 21. But, man, the shorts are getting squeezed, man. I told you this thing was going. And look, this is another 140 in a few minutes. See, you just keep stacking it. So we made 700 there, 140 there, another 140 here. Now it's 1,000. Now, next thing you know, you risk 1,000 for 3. Now you hit 3. Now the trades get bigger as the risk get increased too, as you're up bigger for the day. I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I don't care about a small gain of 140. I never, I care about teaching people, man, and showing people how to do it the right way. Showing people how to enter, showing people how to find entries, showing people how to use the moving averages. That's what I'm into. God's taken care of me already. He's given me generational wealth as far as I'm concerned. I've had more than my parents ever had, and I'm only 43 years old, man, and I had a good life with my parents, so may my children be blessed, may my wife be blessed, may you be blessed. I'm here now to help people make the educational moves they need to find themselves here. We've been making gains the whole stream, man. Like, it's been crazy, right? Some days are way easier to trade than others. Some days it makes perfect sense. I was struggling last week. You saw it. The liquidity wasn't there. I was doing the same stuff I'm doing now, and it wasn't playing out. Leaving me. Whoa, look at that price. Look at that. I mean, that was crazy. That's usually a wick I want to get out on. I mean, that was crazy. Where's the downward wick now? That might have been the bear div there. Oh, the bulls are fighting hard. Look at that thing flip green again. Unbelievable. Who had fun today? One of the best streams I've ever been on. I have to be honest. This has been amazing. As I get stopped out in a second. Look how fast they turned the table on me. Like, you blink in a 1 minute chart, man. Ooh, look at that. They got me. Okay. Some bear div there, though. I'm telling you, the big trade is tonight on the 1 hour. I'm still not buying this stuff. We're getting RSI is so overbought. It's in the shaded region now. Oh, sorry, it's POPCAT. But I bet it looks the same on Bitcoin. Yeah, there we go. There's our first red candle now in a while. Let's clean this up. This is insane. Just to give people what's going on. If you're in my group and you want to kind of continue, I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing in my group. So Bitcoin, in my humble opinion, made a descending triangle, made a bear flag. 100% it did. Without a doubt in my mind. It broke down for the bear flag. Looked like it was going to dip and come back for a bearish retest. Ripped past the 200 of the 1 hour. Ripped all the way back inside the pattern. And out of it. Now this is a breakout. Because you've now breached this trend line. You have to understand that. Now this is the other way around. Now Bitcoin looks bullish. To me, it looks like it's going to kind of do a few more crazy things here. But it's got some supportive resistance waiting for it. It's got a high volume node there on the VRVP. So at one point, this is going to stop. 69, 69.7. That's crazy, though. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's a straight line. Like, that's just like that's beautiful. But at one point, it's going to stop. Because you can't keep pumping away from a 21-day moving average. It just can't happen. It's going to have to come down and make some type of consolidative pattern of some way, shape, or form. I don't know how, but it will. And at that point, I'll be waiting for the trade of a lifetime. Okay? And that's kind of what I'm sitting on, really. I just want to be really clear and confident and calm so you understand what we're looking for in the group tonight and into today. Good money to be taken. I mean, people could have sold here. If you're still chasing, I don't know. I think we're kind of going to slow down. I believe we're going to slow down here. Who knows? Maybe we get one more big pump up to 68.8, possibly. But I feel like at one point, enough is enough, right? So let's take a look at the super chats and see what's happening on the super chats. Ease, please. Weekly time frame. What do you see? Love you, brother. Thank you. From May 29, 26, CME available 24/7. I mean, that's awesome. No more CME gaps. Yeah. Hey, Sam, check the 1 hour chart for Bitcoin. That looks like a reserve headed shoulder. Price headed towards 72K. Thoughts? No, 100%. That's an inverted head and shoulder, man. 100%. You said 72K. I would just take this length wick to wick. I don't think I get that high. I think, yeah, I get like 69, 70,000, 69K. Something kind of where we're getting into now. But yeah, you're spot on, man. 100%. Yep. ETH on the weekly. Love on the weekends. ETH on the weekly. And look, everything follows Bitcoin to a T. It does exactly what Bitcoin does. Everything. Bitcoin comes back, everything comes back. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's why everyone's like, well, my altcoin, my this. I'm like, just watch Bitcoin. If Bitcoin looks like it's going to pump, then trade your altcoin on that same, look for that same flag on your altcoin. Take advantage. You'll probably make more on the altcoin because, right? The profit ratio is higher there. Let's take a look at ETH on the weekly. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's very nice of you. You didn't have to give what you did. That will come back to you tenfold, my friend. For me, you lost this trend line. I guess you could say you're on this, like, we could try to extend it this way and say, okay, there's the trend. Okay, I'm okay with that, I guess, but it's weird. But yeah, you're looking for the week to close a candle next to a red one, and then the entry would be here with a stop below there for the possible low. The only thing I see about Ethereum is like, this was the real pattern it was in. This was it, for sure. You can see it. It faked out, faked down. Now it has to get back inside, and then so it gets back inside, then now you have the measured move again. Then you put out the measured move, and then you get the breakout. It says $8,000 by September of 2027. And I'll be honest, this could be the bottom of altcoins. It's a higher low in the weekly. That could be the lowest they ever go. Like, this could be it. I do believe accumulating Solana here would be a good idea. Ethereum, anything that's like, you know, actually has a use case and has a real big team behind it. I don't know about little memes and stuff. I'd stay away from low cap gems, but I own enough Ethereum. I bought it back in the day. I still own a lot of it. I liquid stake it. Like, I don't talk about it a lot, but I own ETH, you know, like 30. I own like 32 ETH or something. So I have enough ETH in my humble opinion. I'm happy with it. I could have more. It's never been my thing. I'm a gold guy. I said a gold guy because I think about Bitcoin, gold and silver. No, but I'm a complete I'm a Bitcoin guy. You know, if I'm gonna stack, I'm not gonna stack Ethereum for whatever reason. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's just me. Right. Good time to get back into ETH, though, in my humble opinion, or begin to kind of dabble. You do whatever makes you happy. I'm not a financial advisor, but a good time. It has to bounce back in the pattern. And then we can kind of forget the fake down and the fake out and all that. And act just, this is what I got taught by my mentor. Like, forget this and forget that and just act like it's still in a beautiful pattern. And trade it the same way and then forget this too. So bear trap, bull trap, bear trap. Let's go back to the bull side, right? And there you go, man. I think I did a great call there on that sell. And there's your bear div. There's where the 1 hour is going to start to cool off. Honestly, there's probably a good short here now on the 1 hour. Let's take a look at the 1 hour now. Could probably short Bitcoin back to the 21 now. You see? Instead of doing that, I like to just kind of not trade and set up my trade for tonight and like perfect my entry. Instead of having my head all over the place and doing 100 trades. But you could trade, you could short now. Back to the 21, stop loss above the 200, the stop loss above the wick of the other candle. You'd be front running it now. But in my humble opinion, we're probably going to cool off now. That was the move of the day. And we're going to chill out. Okay? Imagine being in a trading group where someone can tell you right when we're going to pump, right when we're going to chill, and when the next pump is likely going to happen. Why don't you jump on it today? Go to CryptoLifer.com. Stop playing yourself. I'm here every single day, folks. Everyone, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you are doing the right thing. I appreciate it. I love you guys so much. And I'm so excited to see where this channel and this group could go. Stay positive every day. Keep pushing every day. Believe in yourself every single day. Never stop. And you can, you will, you are the best. I love you all. If you want to keep kicking it with me, go to CryptoLifer.com right now. Sign up for the Discord. We'll put you in this afternoon. You'll be with me tonight. Possibly for that next trade on BTC. I love you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. The secret to success, you know what it is. I studied all these billionaires and millionaires and even people that just did what they want with their life when it wasn't about money. And you know what the secret to success was? Getting started.